Sometimes, Magic the Gathering cards and products are not what they seem at first. You have to look at that value as it comes down the road and look far into the distance. Hi everyone, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. I hope you guys are having an awesome day today. You're chilling out watching this video in some relaxing setting. If you're new to my channel, welcome aboard. For all my awesome patrons and viewers who are here every day, glad to see you guys here. Can't wait to comment in the comment section. We'll get that conversation started. So when you're thinking of Magic the Gathering products, when you're thinking of these awesome cards and these sealed things, all this craziness goes through your head of deciding which ones to collect, which ones you need a playset of 4 of, which ones are investable. A lot of times, certain cards can slip through the cracks. Either Wizards didn't realize it was going to be that good of a card, or people didn't recognize that card for the awesomeness it is, or they just plain thought it was a bad card. And then somewhere down the line, that card becomes expensive, valuable. People go, wow, it went from $2 to 20 bucks. That's what we're going to talk about. I have a certain list of cards and products that I believe in, and I've been buying them secretly, slowly, whenever I can, and I build small positions in these whenever available. So later on, I can have my playset, but possibly some good trade-in value or possibly some money-making stuff down the road. That's what I like to do. Now, most of these things do take a long time because a lot of these cards can go unrecognized for long periods of time. So let's take a look at some of the awesome cards I enjoy. And yes, you're happy or not happy to slag away in the comment section for the ones you don't like. I don't care. These are ones that I like. So let's take a look. Let's start here with card number 1. Let the bashing begin. All right, guys, we're taking a look at the bibiloplex. You can find these for as cheap as 50 cents Canadian. The average is 65 cents. The market's 32. Foils are 85 cents, and it's like 32 euro cent, whatever. Guys, it's horrible. I get it. But remember, look what I look for in lands. This land does not come into play tapped. You can tap 2 and tap it if you have exactly 7 or exactly 0 cards in hand, and you can look for an instant or sorcery on the top of your library. If it is, you can put it into your hand. That is far better than people realize. Forget trying to keep 7 cards and tie up mana. When you go to 0 cards and you've run your deck through and you got 2 or 3 of these on the board and you can draw up to 3 cards a turn, I don't know what people are thinking. These go into every deck I play in Arena and have saved my life more often than not. I have pitched them out as well when I'm drawing and I don't need them. If I get 1 or 2 on the board, I usually don't care. But guys, this is an amazing card that a lot of people fail to realize how good it is. Am I still buying them, people have asked? Yes, I am. I'm usually going for the full art foil versions of it for like $4 or $5, and I'm just holding a few of them. When I get a chance, I go into a store and I see if they have any, I'm happy to buy some for 50 cents to $1 and pick up a few of them. Why not? What's 10 bucks for 10 more copies? If later on this card becomes recognized for the awesome card drawing ability it can provide you in a well-built deck that has lots of instants and sorceries within it. So I like that card, gonna continue to like it, and we'll see if I'm wrong in the next 5 years. Now, the next one is going to be Hall of the Storm Giants. And although I was not as happy with the D&D set as I could have been, this is one of the highlights that I really enjoy. Now, I am only picking these up when I see them. I'm not actively going out and buying chunks of them. I am going for the alternate full art foil versions for around that $10 to $15 mark. I have bought some regular versions when they were $2 or $3 just so I had a playset to use for myself. But you can see it's a very inexpensive card. But the fact that it has Ward can make it indispensable for bashing people down. And because it kind of looks like a blue land on the board, a lot of people fail to realize that it's there. They forget. And if you use it with certain cards like, say, Teferi Slows the Sunset, cards that can untap your permanents at the end of a turn, this gives you amazing blocking power with huge stopping power because the Ward, it takes that much more of their mana to target, and it makes your opponent think about what they're doing before they do it. Think about other formats and decks this can be used in. Think of Commander decks. It doesn't even come into play tapped in the first couple of turns you get it. That's amazing. So for this reason, this land is definitely on my list, and I am checking it out. I'm not buying mass quantities, though. I'm being very selective, and it's only if I have a few extra bucks in the bank. Right now, I'm not buying any, but when I get a chance again, I will. I just don't want to wait too late until a lot more people start gobbling these up, because we know D&D wasn't opened as much as people hoped it would. Now, the triomes. I put the Kettra triome up here, but these lands have continued to uptick. I want people to be aware of this. At $16 Canadian now, I remember buying these at like $5, right? $16 Canadian, the $12 average. You can see the slow rise it's been going through, and it just hasn't stopped, okay? I expect these to actually get up to about the $20 mark, which means Wizards is really going to want to reprint these quicker than not, right? Than later on, because if you get lands like this that much higher, it's the cycling ability later in the game I really like. 3 mana is great. 3 types of mana to draw is great, but I like the effect of later on in the game, at the end of a turn, I don't like something, I cycle that land out to draw a card. I like that ability for all the triomes, so it's something to keep an eye on if you haven't bought any. If you can find some cheap or trade in some junk to get a couple, just so you have some for certain decks, I would recommend doing that. It makes perfect sense to me, and the future trading value could be high. Now, when we're taking a look here, and you see this beautiful box of Modern Horizons 2, I am talking about the collector booster box here, okay? Not the regular edition boxes. I'm specifically choosing this one. Guys, it's $450 Canadian. I get it. Just a shy over $500 with tax now. It's been on sale a little bit at some of the stores, but for the lows and highs, this set is going to have huge nostalgic impact later on as a card set. People are going to recognize that this was just one of those years that everyone said, OMG, this is crazy. And this is the first time a lot of cards have been reprinted or brought back, but also new cards came into this set. Things like Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, their first printings, right? The first time some of these cards have hit is going to be huge in the history of Magic down the road. I'm willing to wait 10, 15 years to see where these things go. I can't see them going down really, because Wizards will keep a cap on things. So for that reason, although it's an expensive item, I will keep the couple I have sealed, or possibly for patron things in the future. I just can't see them ever really losing value like some of the other products that I tend to avoid now, some of the other Master Series products. Now, Valakut Awakening. We talked about this last year, a little over a year ago, that I love this land, okay? Especially in the full art foil. I was buying these for around the $4 or $5 mark, and I told all kinds of people on my channel back then that this land, think about it, it is like a wheel, okay? The ability to get rid of a hand and draw cool cards is amazing. It's whatever you discard +1, that's awesome, okay? The fact you can do it at the end of a turn on an instant is amazing. If some opponent drops huge bombs on the board and you know your hand is junk, you cast this and flip over 5 new cards and you untap all your land on your turn, wow. Okay, now you can find regular versions for like the $7, $8 mark. A full art in Canadian dollars, expedition style, is like $20 now. So I've already seen a 4-fold, return on these. I think I have 10, but that's still crazy to think about, right? When I was spending, $50 to get the 10, and it's worth, $200 now. Something to think about. You don't know until it happens. I actually think this won't come around again anytime soon, so I think it'll rise higher, especially in commander decks that are pimped out with some red. I just see a value there that a lot of people fail to recognize. Now, when we're talking about this, I want to talk not just about the Grove of the Burnwillow, okay? I'm talking any expeditions from this era, okay? For Zendikar Rising, when they put all these different lands out, they just drove the prices to the ground. Some of these cards were like $2, $3. And I was talking to my channel, just like the Valakut Awakening, I was telling people on my channel this. All the ones I have bought have already gone up in value from where they were, because I bought them so low, and I only bought the Foil Expedition full art ones, okay? That's all I bought. The regular ones I bought, I kind of gave away as like prizes and stuff. But I looked at this and said, look how cheap some of these still are. $11? Guys, who isn't going to put that in a commander deck? Who's not going to use this somewhere else in the game? What are people thinking when they avoid cards like this? You know what it is? Wizards puts out a new flashy thing and people forget about it. But eventually, when there's a calming, people go back and pick these up, and that's when the prices start to rise. They forget about them. So you can be one of those people like myself who says, you know what, I'm going to pick up a couple of these personally to hold on to, but also you never know if you need some good trade-in to go for some power cards later in life. Just saying. Now, I'm not talking about Alia Cairo. You notice my note there, it says Arabian Nights anything. Okay, I don't even care if it's heavily played. If you get a heavily played card from Arabian Nights, or you can trade for a couple of bucks to get it, just hold those cards. Don't trade them around. Arabian Nights is really low. Okay, the card's been going up a lot in the last year. All the cards I get now, any ones I get, I try to pick up 1 or 2 a month, even if it's just a repeat as I try to complete my collection. I just hold them now. I don't have that many. I'm just holding on because there's only a few million of these cards printed. How many are really left out there, everyone? I think people don't recognize how small this print run is, how desperate this will be later on for any rich person out there trying to complete Magic the Gathering sets. Will be spending massive amounts of money to try to get some. If you can find a near mint card, oh my goodness, hold on to that. Never get rid of it because it's going to be totally insane. These cards are just such a rare piece of Magic the Gathering's history. They're never coming back. They're not going to be out there again in that old style Arabian Nights sword with the cool black. I just don't see it, guys. First printings, man. Makes you really realize how rare these things are. All right. Now, in this case, we're talking about unlimited. Now, I skipped alpha and beta on purpose because they're not on my list. I picked them up the odd time if they're cheap, but the problem is they're not cheap anymore. Unlimited is still a very underrated set. Now, I specifically put down near mint. You will pay a little bit more for it, but any collector trying to get a collection or to grade something will have to go through you, meaning me, if I have near mint copies of anything they need. When you look at these cards, remember, they were really played a lot back then. There was no sleeves protecting them. So finding near mint quality conditions of any of these cards is that much more difficult, hence why it's on my list. If I think of alpha and beta cards, they're awesome, but they've already hit new highs we've never seen before, and I'm avoiding those new highs. I looked on places like eBay, TCG Player. I'm not paying 40 bucks for a common moderately played. No. I'm skipping those. The profits are out of them. They're not possible anymore, so I'm not wasting my time. I am moving on to a product that still has room to appreciate. So it's not that an old foil is not worth something. It's not that an old, cool, rare, or uncommon or common from alpha, beta is not worth anything. It's not worth it to me as an investor collector who's going to buy some of these things and hold on to them. I'm not going down that path. I'm sticking with ones I can get 2 or 3 or 4 of and make some serious money later on because I'm looking at the value down the road, not now. Now, all right. Now, again, I just said, that's funny. Commander Legends. Guys, people have asked me about this. It is on my watch list. I'm hoping at Christmas it goes on sale. It's 150 bucks a box. We know it probably won't get another print run again. I just can't see it happening. So for that reason, it's here. But I had a good time opening this box. It's the first time they did a Commander set. This will have value. Okay, it will. It's got Jeweled Lotus. It's got some amazing new Commander cards, some fresh stuff we'd never seen before. For that reason alone, it would make my list. But I had a blast opening it, even though it had pringling of all the horrible cards inside, and the foiling was awful. It was a fantastic set to open. I had a blast. I can't wait to see what this set does in the future. As you can see, it's already kind of upticking a little bit, and I'm kind of concerned about that this early in the game. But I'm wondering about another year from now, 2 years, 3 years. I can see this hitting $300 a box just based on the rarity, the potential of new sets that have come up after it, and what people will have for nostalgia's sake. So I'm just going to hold on to it, keep this baby puppy put away. It's going to be mine. I'm not really sharing with anybody on that one. It's just something I'm keeping an eye on closely. I only have 1 or 2 boxes right now. I will probably try to at least get 6, so I have some to sell down the road or use for drafts. Now, the last card I want to show you guys today is actually called Heim, and specifically the Collector Booster Box. At $249 Canadian, that's less than $300 a box right now, okay? It still has Vorinclex. It still has Pathways inside. It's got Epic God kind of... Like, I understand the set didn't do well, and people didn't jump in on it, but at Christmas time, if this goes on sale like the Theros ones did a few years ago at like places like 401 Games where it was like $199 a box, I'm buying some. Okay, I don't care. I'll credit card it. I think the upswing for that later or to be used for my patrons is pretty epic to think about. And it did have, like, things like Vorinclex were really well received. Okay, there are good cards in this set. It's just, it got overshadowed by the time of year they put it out, by the rollout and the products that have followed afterwards. So I understand a lot of people won't be bullish on it now, but I think there'll be people who regret it later on. So remember, these are things I'm looking at. So let me just turn this off for a second here. All right, guys, let me sit up now that I'm away from the microphone a little bit. These are things that I look at. I'm looking at weird things sometimes that nobody else seems to see, or they don't care, or people tease me about it and say I'm buying the wrong stuff. Some of my friends used to do it. My friends don't do that to me anymore. Okay? You can ask some of the people on the channel. People have been around for a while. I've made a lot of good marks in my age, and I can see good stuff coming down the line, and these are things that interest me. I'm not saying to anybody to buy these things. I'm saying these are things that interest me, and I can see potential value there later on. So those are the kinds of cards I go for. And this is one of the prime lists I'm showing you guys today because I just think it's awesome. Okay, it just grabs me when I look at those cards and I look at the potential value upswing 10 years from now. It's just the way it is. Who knows what other instants and sorceries will come up to make a card like the bibiloplex that much better? Who doesn't know what's going to happen, right? So when you're looking at it that way, when you're looking at all these amazing collector boxes, we don't know what's going to happen, but I can see potential there. And that's the key. I will buy cheaper things over more expensive things, though, because a cheaper thing has a larger growth potential later on. If a card I bought for 50 cents goes to $5, wow, that is quite the upswing, isn't it? You got to look at things that way, too, because that kind of trade-in value can really help you move up if you want to buy a power card or move into higher-end cards. We'll get to that in another video, though. So guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video today. And these are some of the choices I am personally making when I'm choosing to buy products. So thanks a lot for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. And hey, if you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button. It won't hurt you at all. Have a great one, guys. Enjoy the day. Hey guys, a big shout out goes out to all my patrons and YouTube supporters out there, guys. Thank you so much for that continued support each and every month. I really hope you enjoy the videos I'm putting out. Let me know in that comment section because patrons make the world go round. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. It just occurred to me. Here we are at the end of the video again. You made it. I'm proud of you. You've come this far. But now you have to leave me something. You got to leave a boomstick in the comments section so I know you made it this far. It's important. Don't forget to do it. I'm watching, and I'll be looking at you. I'll be seeing, all right? No, don't leave popcorn on the floor. You know, what is with you leaving popcorn on the floor every time? Pick it up.